Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Now we are going to discuss about the lesson electrostatics. Today the topic to be covered are the definition of electrostatics, then the definition of electric charge, triboelectric charge, basic properties of electric charges, which includes conservation of charge and quantization of charge, and the very fundamental and important law of electrostatics, which is Coulomb's law. Let us begin with the session by defining what is electrostatics. The term electrostatics by itself is split into two as electro and statics. Electro means electric charges and static means at rest. So the electrostatic is something that refers to the behavior of the charges which is completely at rest, which is called stationary charges here. So by the definition, electrostatics is nothing but the charges at rest. So first we have to understand what is an electric charge. Electric charge is nothing but a property of any matter to experience a force when the objects are brought nearer. As we know that every object around us is made up of atoms, and these atoms, which in turn consists of the elementary particles like protons, neutrons and electrons. And it is common, we know that protons are the positively charged elements and electrons are the negatively charged elements. In general, every object will be in the neutral state, and an object will acquire a charge only when there is the imbalance between these two charged particles, protons and electrons. For an object which is having excess number of electrons, then the object will acquire a negative charge, and if there is a less number of electrons in the object, then that particular object will acquire a positive charge. Or else, if the net charge, that is the positive and negative protons and negative electrons are equal, then the charge value is 0, that is the object is said to be neutral. By the way of this, we can understand if the word charge comes into existence, we have two different types of charges. One is negative charge and the positive charge. So as of here, electrostatics, we are going to define, we have at least two charges and they are at rest. Now, how these charges behave or react to each other is what is electrostatics. So we have the basic properties of electric charges that is to be understood. As we have two different charges, there are two possibilities to have the charges closer to each other. Either both the charges can be of same type or both the charges can be of different type. If two objects which are charged are of same kind, then these charges are called as like charges. When these like charges are brought closer to each other, these charged bodies or these charges will repel and move away from their position. When these two charges are unlike charges, that is two objects or two charges of different kind, that is one object will have a positive charge and the other object with a negative charge. When these are brought together, you can see that the objects get attracted with each other. So this is how the charges behave, and the charge is represented by the symbol Q, and unit of a charge is Coulomb, and which is represented by the symbol C. Such behavior of like charges getting repelled and unlike charges getting attracted was first understood by conducting a simple experiment, which is when you hang a rubber rod which is of one kind material over at some point and leave it off free to move. And when you bring the same kind of rubber rod nearer to the rubber rod, you can see that these two rubber rods get repelled away each other. The one that is hanging will repel away from the rubber rod which you brought nearer, and when you replace this rubber rod and bring some other kind of glass rod which is positively charged, and when you bring this near to the rubber rod, you can see that the rubber rod which is hanging is getting attracted towards the glass rod. This is how they have understood that the positive and the negatively opposite charged particles get attracted with each other, while the same kind of charges which is negative to negative or positive to positive gets repelled against each other. As we said in the previous part, all the objects in general are neutral. Only when there is an imbalance in the protons and the electrons, then you can see that the object has acquired a charge. So, how is it possible for an object to acquire a charge? How this imbalance will happen in the object? This is so simple that when you apply some force or when you apply some external thing on the object, then you can see that the charges get shifted and the objects will acquire a charge. And the type of the charge, that is positive charge or a negative charge on an object, depends upon the type of the material of which the object is made. The simple method to make an object to be charged is simply by rubbing the object with some material. So when you rub the object with some material which is neutral, when you rub, the electrons from the object will start to move from the object and will be attached to the other material which is being rubbed. Now one of the object will have the excess electron as the electrons have moved away, and the other object will be having less number of electrons, and now these two objects are charged. The method by which the objects are acquired charged simply by rubbing is called as triboelectric charge. And you can see that an object's charge with the imbalance, I am being repeatedly saying that only with the number of excess electrons or the less number of electrons, and not about the protons, as we all know that only these electrons are the movable particles inside an atom, and only these electrons get shifted between the objects or transferred between the objects, making one with excess number of electrons and the other with the less number of electrons, so that acquiring a positive charge and a negative charge. Just try it with this simple playful experiment you all did with your lower sections, which is take a pen or pencil and some bits of papers spread around in the floor. Now when you bring this pen near to your paper, you can see that nothing happens. So what is this about triboelectric effect? Triboelectric is to make the material charged by rubbing. So when you rub the pencil or pen with your hairs, and when you bring this pen near to your paper, you can see that the paper gets stick to the pen. How does it happen? It is because of rubbing. When you rub the pen the pen has acquired a charge. Now, when the charged material is brought near to the other object, the other object has also acquired a opposite charge and it gets attracted towards one of the object. So, the other way of obtaining a charge is that a temporary charge can be induced on a neutral object by doing nothing, bringing already charged object near to the object which you want to charge. Here is the again one simple playful example that when you have a balloon which is negatively charged, the negative charge on the balloon can be induced by rubbing the balloon, and when you bring this balloon near to the wall, you can see that the ball will get attached to the wall. It is due to the attraction of the charges between the balloon and the wall. The one more way of obtaining a charge or providing a charge to the object is that a forceful direct contact between the objects. When you go faster and get hit onto the door, what do you feel? A sudden shock on the body where you have hit, isn't it? How this has happened? How we can relate this with the electrostatic charge? Yes, it is because when you hit on the door or when you hit on your hands, the charges which is at rest on the door gets transferred, that is simply electrons from the door gets transferred into your body, and the sudden entry or excess of electrons on your body makes you to feel a sudden shock. Now the door will be having lesser number of electrons which is again positively charged. The other static electricity examples are the simple and the similar way for your pen and paper. You can try it with your comb and some bits of paper also, and with one balloon and some bits of paper also. Here the balloon and the combs should be rubbed with some material to make it charged. The next major property of the electric charges is that the charges are always conservative. So it is conservation of electric charges. What is this conservation of electric charges? As we all know that charges can never be created or it can never be destroyed. Charges on the object cannot be created externally by rubbing. Instead, when you rub two objects, the electrons or the charges gets transferred from one object to the other object, and on the whole, in the system of the two objects, the charge value will be the same. That is, the net change in the charge value will always be 0. There will not be any change. The total number of charges will be same. Say for an example, I have two objects with 6 number of electrons and 6 number of electrons in both the objects, that is they are neutral, say for an example. Now when you rub these two objects, one of the some electrons from one of the objects will be shifted to the other object, thereby making it one with the excess number of electrons and the other with the lesser number of electrons, but the total number of electrons in both the objects will be the same as 12 and 12, which is called conservation of electric charges here. Few more examples for your electrostatics is that when you have a glass rod and when you rub the glass rod with the silk, then by rubbing these two objects will acquire the charges, where the glass rod will acquire a positive charge and the silk which is being rubbed will acquire a negative charge. Similarly, when you have a rubber rod, depending upon the material, the charges will vary, and so when you rub a rubber rod, the rubber rod will acquire a negative charge, and rubbing a rubber rod with fur, the fur material will acquire a positive charge here. The next main property of the electric charges is that quantization of charges. Quantization, the term here means the quantity. The quantity is nothing but how much amount of charge. So quantization of charge is that going to know how much amount of charge is present in an object. And we know that for an electron, the charge value is represented by minus E, and for the proton it is positive plus E. And when it is so, for an object it has n number of electrons inside the object. So what is the charge value for an object? How do we define the charge value? How do we find the charge value for an object? We know that the number of electrons in the object are always discrete or simple whole integer number, which is 1, 2 or something like that. You can never see an object with the electrons as 1.5 or 2 or 2.5, something like that. So the number of electrons in the object will also be the whole integer number, which is 1, 2, 3, etc., which is represented by n here. And the charge of one electron value is represented by E. Now when you multiply the total number of electrons with the one electron charge value, you will be getting the total charge value for an object. The charge is always represented by the symbol Q, and so the quantity of charge in an object, that is quantization of charge for an object, can be represented by Q is equal to N into E. This is simply defined as the charge Q of any object is equal to an integral multiple, that is a multiple value with an integer number, to the charge fundamental unit for a charge E, fundamental unit value E. So Q is equal to N into E. And the value of one electron fundamental charge value E is found to be 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb, and this was found by Robert Millikan. As we know, the electrons are negatively charged, and the value of electron is minus E. Then for an electron it is minus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb, and for the proton it is positive plus E. So the charge value, unit charge value for proton is plus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. This is all about quantization of charges. Let's now move on with the Coulomb's law, which is very fundamental and very basic law for the electrostatics. What is this electrostatics? As we have already defined, when you have two charges, there will be some behavior between these charges. That is, when these charges are kept separated with a particular distance, then these charges will attract each other or else will repel each other due to some force acting between these charges. And this force is only just because of the two charges which is completely at rest. So this force is called as electrostatic force. And Coulomb is a person who has defined this electrostatic force, and his measuring how much of force that is going to be exist between these charges. He has defined this force value. When you have these two charges very closer to each other, you can feel that these charges get attracted and repelled very faster, and when you move these charges away with each other, this force value gets decreased. So when you have the charges closer, the force is higher, and when the distance is higher, the force is lesser, which is called inversely proportional. So the force F is inversely proportional to the distance r. Similarly, when the strength of the charge, the size of the charge is higher, the strength between the charge is higher, then the attractive or the repulsive force will be higher, and it depends upon the magnitude of the charges. So when the magnitude of the charge is higher, the force of attraction or repulsion will also be higher, that is directly proportional. So according to Coulomb's law, the electrostatic force F is directly proportional to the magnitude of these two charges Q1 and Q2, and inversely proportional to the distance. That is, Coulomb's law states the electrostatic force is directly proportional to the product of the magnitude of these two charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the charges. Here the distance is represented by r. And now when you remove this proportional, you have to add up one constant and replace it as equal. So F is equal to, I am adding a constant k here, so which is k into Q1 into Q2 by R12 whole square. Here k is called as Coulomb's proportionality constant. Thank you.